Welcome to another Marvel Heroes Monday stream extravaganza. Is that a word? It's a word now. I made it up. It's my word. So today we've got some new things. There were a few problems with the original event that was going on, which was the King's Cross event. And so instead now we've got Odin's Bounty, which is not really a bad thing because it's still pretty cool. So essentially that's what we'll be doing. I'm still working on leveling my Cosmic Beast, and I am very, very close to being done. One of the reasons I'm excited about playing a little bit today is because we do have the Cosmic Chaos going on, which means, well, we've got double Cosmic XP, or almost double Cosmic XP. It's like 150%, I think. So I get more XP, and we've got Odin's Bounty, plus it's Midtown Madness. So we just got all sorts of cool stuff. Plus we're getting these Big 10 Cache of Loot cases, which are pretty impressive. You get a lot of cool stuff in those things. So yeah, lots and lots going on. But as always, more importantly, I hope that you all had good weekends and that everything is well and good. I have this ancient gourd of prestige that I bought, but I didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to. Almost done with my new pet. It's very exciting. But yeah, so it's we got some pretty cool stuff. Like I said, I'm level 58 now, so hopefully I'll get to like level 59 today. And then maybe level 60 sometime over the weekend, or hopefully next week, next Monday stream, I can ding 60, which would be great. I'd do it on the stream. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I was thinking today. And there's always fun stuff to discuss with all sorts of different things in Marvel Heroes, especially now with the Marvel Heroes Omega stuff going on. So hopefully we can have a nice little discussion on that as well. But yeah, good times. Good times. I'm going to go ahead and reset this before I head into Midtown. Your Ronin is here! Yes, exactly. 2 levels? What? I played a little bit over the weekend so that I could I got like 1.5 levels essentially. So I'm hoping that today I can get to 59. Don't know that I'll be able to, but we'll see. Dr. Henry McCoy, chat works. That's good. It's good that we got the chat working for you, Euronin. Yeah, I don't know what was going on last time. That was really, really weird. I like this flourish. But yeah, like I mentioned, there's so we had our Friday update. Obviously, last Friday, we got new costume announcements and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, we've got lots to discuss today. Lots and lots to discuss. Retro Zero's here as well. Holla at you, Retro Zero. The big thing going on the last couple of days with the Friday update primarily is we saw the official announcement for the costume winners, the poll that was conducted. There was quite a bit of bile about said poll. I personally do not know why exactly. I didn't participate in the poll, but apparently the 2 things voted were what was it? It was Wolverine's Sabretooth costume and Storm's, not Ultimate X, but like Extreme X or Radical X or some 90s term for awesome. I don't remember exactly what it was. Hey, look, a Big 10 cache of loot. The caches of loot are just that. They are freaking ridiculous. Giant caches of fat loot stuff. And then, of course, all the stuff with Marvel Heroes Omega coming up now. Retro Zero, I don't know if you were here last time we discussed it. Honestly, I'm sorry if you were. But what do you think of the whole Omega release, Marvel Heroes Omega? Like, all of their stuff is already switched over, so like all the social media accounts and everything for Marvel Heroes are now all officially titled as Marvel Heroes Omega instead, and all this kind of thing. So it's basically already done. We're probably just a few weeks away from the official release, or at least the beta. But yeah. I'm just curious what everybody thinks about them. And incidentally, today is probably going to be a short stream as well. I had a pretty rough day at work, so I'm thinking that I'm going to cut it short so I can just relax and recuperate a little bit after a rough time. I do apologize in advance for that. But that's why we got to start discussifying. That's right. I remember you were here now. I remember you were here, Retro. And incidentally, that's what a lot of people on the threads were saying as well. I mean, part of the thing is it's from... I will give it to Gaz. It is a delicate balance right now between giving us, the player base, information about what's going on, and at the same time not wanting to give out information that is incorrect because it's not finalized or hasn't been approved or whatever it happens to be. And I understand that, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, they're like touting this huge giant change and how awesome and amazing and giant big thing it's going to be, and it's just ridiculous. There's going to be so much going on. There's so many things changing. It seems pretty clear where the focus is going to lie from here on out. You know, all this kind of stuff. And in a big way, it's unfortunate. I love that you have balanced, reinforced stilettos. Makes, like, 0 sense. Incidentally, I read a little bit today about Dark Beast because I had no idea who it was, except in the context of having this gene injector as an item. So I read a little bit about like the AOA characters. Away, 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 away. Confusing with Monster Hunter. So I've actually never played Monster Hunter, Euronin. I am one of those crazy people who just never did it. No, I've wanted to, and I actually have one of the Monster Hunters on like my wish list that's been there for, you know, ever. But I never bothered. Ooh, this one I can go ahead and do. Lower Asgard, great place to get XP, incidentally. Yeah, it's a little bit worrisome. I mean, people were like ringing the nostalgia bells in these various threads, being like, oh, you know, do you guys remember those times when, you know, we got a new hero and a new costume every month, and now we have the winners of this poll. They're not releasing the information about the poll data and all this kind of stuff, so people are like, what the fudge? And it's going to be about a year before we see the first of these 2 costumes that apparently people were so interested in. And it's just like, well, what the fudge? Why did we bother doing a vote? Blah, 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 blah. All this kind of stuff. And I mean, frankly, I can't blame people. Again, I've, to a good extent, for better or for worse, I have removed myself from a lot of the Marvel Heroes community things. I don't necessarily view it as good or bad. It just is. I sort of just sort of lurk the forums type of thing, which is fine, and I still get all the information I need. And again, I still do my update videos and all that kind of stuff, so I'm still involved and I still see what's going on. And obviously I stream, so, you know, I keep up to date by and large. But at the same time, I'm just, you know, kind of like, what the fudge? And I mean, at the same time, I've never really discussed anything with any of the devs directly. I've never really given a lot of feedback on the forums, aside from a little bit of the test center stuff. But that said, I'm essentially sitting here reading through a lot of these forum comments and basically saying, yeah, ditto. Because I just completely agree by and large with what most people are saying with all the changes to MH Omega and stuff. And I know that a large part of it is just going to be, I mean, to say it's similar to like the pyramid scheme type of thing is not correct, because new players are not being added on the backs of old players necessarily. But at the same time, this new thing that they're going with, for better or worse, is based around the idea of getting new players, and that's it. That is the sole purpose of this new release and all that kind of thing. Yeah, Besieged Citizens is awesome for getting XP as well. Right now, I'm mostly here just to finish up this this LQ as quickly as possible, because I would rather be in Midtown, essentially. There we go. I was like, I don't know why the champions aren't working. I thought I got 3 or 4 of them. And look, Rev's here. Holla at you, Rev. Rev, we were just talking about the wonders that were this this most recent Friday update that we had, and the new announcements with Omega and the costume poll winners and all that kind of stuff. And just sort of, as always, I'm curious what you guys have to think, because, I mean, that's half of the reason I do this, is I want to talk to you guys and just talk about it, because it's fun. Nice! I'm glad that the party went so well. I mean, I would hope it would, right? Because this was it 15 or 16? I mean, either way, it's either a Sweet 16 or a quinceañera. I don't know if your girlfriend is Hispanic or not, but I don't care. Does that make me a bad person? Maybe. I vote no. But either way, what did Cat screw up now? Sweet 16. Okay, well that's why it was so lavish. But yeah, so essentially it's more about Omega, and like, I don't know, I'm sure that you haven't seen it, because I know that you've stopped, Rev, but they held a poll for essentially what do you want to see in the as new costumes for heroes, right? So they had this big list of costumes, and people went in and voted on this Google Sheet thing that they were doing. And they just announced the winners, and the winners were, it was the Wolverine Sabretooth, like, essentially enhanced costume, and the Storm, Extreme or something like that costume. I don't remember exactly what it was, but essentially the guys was getting a lot of flack over that, because people were essentially saying, like, WT Fudge, what's going on? Why, like, show us the numbers for this? You know, there were so many multiple voters. It basically sounded like the aftermath of the November election in the U.S. Like, that's essentially what it all sounded like. And on top of that, they demanded the release of the raw numbers, which I equate to taxes. But, at the same time, it just didn't happen. At least not as of earlier today. I don't remember exactly when I looked. I looked on my lunch break. So, I don't know. But suffice to say, I'm just curious what all everybody thinks. And particularly on that note, it's a very interesting one, because a lot of people were really weirded out by it. And now with Omega, we basically still have the same questions after we have like an FAQ for it, where it's like, oh, when is it going to be released? What's being prepped? Oh, the EU beta is being prepped, and things are getting readied, and all this kind of stuff. And people saying constantly about, it's clear that PC is going to take a back seat, and frankly it already has. Like, everybody was noting, we're down on new content, like new heroes, new costumes. They're focusing instead on doing the updates and things ahead of the Omega release, which in some ways is sensible, because I understand they want it to look as good as possible when they release it to consoles. But at the same time, it's like, WT Fudge, like, what about us? What about us? And look, Marathon is here. Holla at you. But yeah, like I said, I figured that you hadn't heard anything about it, Rev. But I'm just, as always, I'm curious because that's half of why I do these streams is so that I can hear what you all have to say. Because yeah, that's what we're here for. It's funs. They need to release Dr. Doom's taxes. But I don't think he pays taxes because doesn't he run his own country? You would think that the first law of his country would be the Grand Supreme Leader does not pay taxes ever. I mean, I'm just saying, if it was me, if I had my own country, Dannytopia, then the first rule would be Danny does not pay taxes in Dannytopia. Yeah, I kind of figured that you would say the thing. I kind of figured you'd think that, Rev. Doom is magnanimous. He pays all the taxes. To be fair, all of his subjects are like robots. So, I don't know. Do you think he charges his robots taxes? Oh my god, that reminds me. That was so hilarious. The most recent episode of The Simpsons. I don't know if you guys watched, but it was really, really funny. It was just incessantly mocking like safe spaces and all that kind of stuff on college campuses. It was absolutely hilarious. Oh my god, it was amazing. I loved it. I'd live in Dannytopia as long as there's good internet. I mean, I'll have to set it up. I got to talk to Korea because they know how to internet. That would probably be my go-to country as far as how to set up a quality internet structure. Because they know what's up. Me, I'm just trying to level. Ugh. I mean, it's nice getting all these fancy bonus things. Because having the simultaneous, like, everything going on is pretty sweet. But now I've got 3 shield boxes. I've got 3 loot crates of giant lootness. I mean, it's pretty insane. Basically, I got a lot of stuff. Ah, dang it. Same thing I got last time. Sure, we'll put on new pants. Happy now? Let me see. Who else is here? Is anybody else here? I don't even know. Marvel Heroes is apparently here. That's pretty interesting. They're on the viewer list, you guys. Shh. I don't know what that means. Can it ever go back to cable? Oh my god, yeah. It was really funny. When I was in like middle and high school, where I lived, we had dial-up the entire time I was in middle and high school. The thing is that literally across the street from us, they had DSL. We had to stick with dial-up. As soon as my parents moved and they were able to get broadband, the first thing they did was they called me and they said, Danny, you were right, dial-up sucks. And I was like, of course dial-up sucks. It's fucking dial-up. Like, for crying out loud. If your download speeds are measured in kilobytes, then you've got serious issues. Not to mention the whole, like, Danny, get off the internet, I need to use the phone. Actually, it was more my sister. She was into the whole IRC thing. That wasn't my scene, personally. I mean, it's interesting, but for now, let me, I actually wanted to do this earlier. I wanted to, let me body slide out real quick so I don't waste my boosts. Actually, oh, we're 5 seconds away, so I'll do that. Essentially, I'm going to open up this forum post, the Friday forum post, just so that we can take a look real quick and just go over what was mentioned in the Friday update and just a little bit of the feedback for it. Because, again, this is what we're here. This is why we're here to discuss it. This is what I like to do with you guys. That's the whole point, yeah? Oh, man, my sister, she was obsessed with Merc. Like, when that was a thing. We didn't, actually, no, we did do AOL. Well, she did AOL. I was like the nerdy kid. I mean, I had my SNES and my N64. Actually, no, I didn't have a SNES at the time. I just had the N64. It was so sad because when my parents got me the N64, they made me get rid of the SNES. And I was just like... I mean, at the time, I was perfectly happy to do it because I was just a little kid. I was just like, yay, woo! Because they let me keep the money from selling it. But now that I'm like a nerdy adult, I'm just like, young Danny, why did you sell your SNES? You could have been playing Earthworm Jim, and you could have been playing Super Mario World and Super Mario RPG. But no! You had to get a telescope. Anyway, no, yeah, it was fun times. And then I've already told the story of what happened to my N64. Sad but true. Well, okay, it's not sad. It's good. It's sad for me, but that means that I'm like a first world D-bag, essentially. God, there's so many boxes, you guys. I'm going to be able to level. This is so good. Look at all that sweet, sweet XP. Oh my god, so many uniques. You ever get that feeling that you just get too many uniques? I know, I'm getting rid of a serrated boot knife. Those things are pretty awesome. Well, obviously, I know that now, Rev. Thank you. You were on Merc before 14. You were... Oh, man, you was hardcore. You was hardcore, you Ronin. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of things here on the forums. So one of the big things that was announced was the winners, or were the winners, for the costume wars, as they said, which was just a giant like voting thing that they did. Let me see here. And then the other big thing that I wanted to do was the Friday summary schedule. So they had a relatively big list of a handful of costumes that they wanted, and essentially that, like, what would it be? Which ones do people want? They had a little Google form for it. So the Storm Extreme was the one that was picked. So it was Storm Extreme and what was it? I said it already. It was the Wolverine Sabretooth one. That was the one. But yeah, I mean, they had a list of about maybe 24 or so, maybe 2.5 dozen-ish, and essentially saying like, oh, here we go, like, let's take a look at this and see what people say. And it's unfortunate because they haven't released the actual numbers, don't know if they're going to plan to, or if they plan to. Frankly, it really doesn't matter, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Who knows? Let's see here. I'd laugh if I used to talk to his sister. Oh, I don't know if I would laugh. I would be more scared about that. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe. Maybe it would be. Let's see here. So, Test Center was up to try to do the fixes. Apparently, the fixes didn't work because they ended up changing it. And now we're going through tomorrow. We're doing Odin's Bounty. And then we've got Costume War stuff, Model Viewer. Okay, so here we go. Marvel Heroes Omega and PC. Like I said, I appreciate the fact, I definitely appreciate and understand the fact that sometimes if things aren't confirmed or aren't shareable yet, they don't want to say anything. But at the same time, it's you know, like we're desperate for information about all of these. The thing is, like, we haven't heard anything about new content on PC other than now we've gotten announcements on 2 costumes that are going to take at minimum about a year. I mean, I think the minimum was Storm might be done by the end of 2017. Might be done. But then the Sabretooth one for Wolverine is essentially going to be an enhanced one. So that's going to take a year at least, I would imagine. They didn't mention. But essentially, I understand the need for secrecy and because, like, behind closed doors, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. But at the same time, now it's like, you know, what's going on? We have no information on new content. We don't even know when the betas are going to be starting for Omega. We don't know any of this stuff. The thing is that they say they're building the console forums, which will be separate from PC. We already know that the accounts between the games aren't transferable, but apparently if you're a D-bag on the console forums, then you're also banned from the PC forums, which is funny if you ask me. Closed beta for EU is happening, and then to get access to the closed beta, you need to buy a Founders Pack. But that's pretty much it. And then Deadpool X-Force visual update is coming. When is it coming? Who knows? But it is coming. And to be fair, it does look really cool. Deadpool has some pretty neat costumes. Hang on one second. Let me take a look at the website and look at the store specifically, because I want to see if this stuff is... So right now, they've actually got the PC shop separate, and they've got the official Omega announcement, but this is like 2 weeks old at this point almost. So it's kind of like WT Fudge. But yeah, like the Marvel Heroes store is all... it's all split off now, where it's got the PC shop specifically, and everything that was generalized is now just PC. I just realized Deadpool's taking a selfie in the thing. They've got like official announcements for it. They've got one from like essentially a PlayStation magazine and one for Xbox magazine, effectively, for the what's it called? I think the one potentially good thing about Omega is the fact that it's going to be it's still going to be free to play. I mean, from my perspective, I'm not going to be playing it at all. I don't have an Xbone or a PS4. So even if I wanted to play, I wouldn't be able to. I don't have the hardware capability, unfortunately. So I'm not going to be able to speak in any way intelligently about it, which is unfortunate. And again, my big worry is still that there's going to be a lack of content on PC, and in this most recent update, we were told that, you know, content is, quote, being finalized. As to what that means, I have no idea. Does that mean that they're finalizing plans? Does that mean that they're finalizing the actual code and it's about to be released? Are they finalizing, like, I don't, are they finalizing long-term, short-term? Like, what is it? I don't know. And in a way, it's a little bit frustrating for me as a player because I enjoy the game. I want to play more, but it's very difficult to play a game when you literally have no idea what the future holds, if anything. So it's kind of like WT Fudge. I don't know, but we ramble. Getting back to something more pleasant, I hope that you all had good weekends. We know that Rev had an awesome weekend because awesomeness with the Sweet 16 party. It wasn't his Sweet 16 party, for those of you who are curious. I mean, maybe it was and he just lied to me. That could be. I like to think that Rev is above that, though. But you never know. Well, and so that's the kind of thing I'm worried about, Yaron. And obviously, one of the things with Omega is that uh, they're not doing a full port. They're only doing a partial port. Not all of the heroes are going to be coming by and all this kind of stuff. Now, I assume that they're going to be gradually adding more and more and more and stuff like that. And at the same time, I believe I read in one of the updates, don't quote me on this, but I think I read that at least initially the only way to get some heroes is going to be through the Founders Pack. Again, don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's actually correct. I would have to look it up again on the forums to see if that's right. But I thought that's what it said. And I remember it mentioned Iron Man specifically, which in a way makes sense because you're going to take the popular heroes, put them behind as big of a paywall as you can, effectively. Which again is unfortunate, but from a business standpoint, I get where they're coming from, but for me as a PC player, I just feel like it's kind of a slap in the face to me because I've not only been a loyal follower and a loyal player of the game, but and not to mention great purchaser of many things, but I've also done a lot in terms of like social aspects and like I've written up my guides and all this kind of stuff, and that took a significant amount of time for me to do. And I mean, Marvel Heroes, they're not asking me to do that stuff. I'm not doing it because they want me to. I'm doing it because I genuinely enjoyed the game. And it's just unfortunate to see this happening. How much is the Founders Pack? I have no idea. I just checked. I looked in the online store and it didn't mention. It might be available in like the Xbox and the PlayStation store. Hang on, let me Google it real quick and see. Marvel Heroes Omega Founders Pack. Let me see here. I don't believe that they have announced that. Again, I could be wrong because it could be in like the PlayStation and Xbox specific stores, and I don't have access to those, unfortunately. So I couldn't tell you. Oh, okay, here we go. Let me see here. So I just saw an announcement. All right. So it's launching with 38 heroes, and 2 of them, Iron Fist and War Machine, will be exclusive to the Founders Pack for a 6-month period. But the exact details are yet to be announced. This was 12 days ago on like one of the official gamer forum things. That's a kind of odd choices. Iron Fist and War Machine? That's odd. I could have sworn that I had read Iron Man was one of them. My geek magnum opus. Sort of. It was. But yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like I made this... I made a bunch of spreadsheets, for crying out loud. I did so much math for this game. It's ridiculous. You know, I did math on leveling. I did math on the random Eternity... Like the Eternity Splinter random box and probability and all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, I did a lot of work as like a community member to help out in this game. But I mean, even so, it's just like, what the fudge? Oh yeah, I agree. It's certainly better to do like the 6-month exclusivity than it is to say like, no, you're never going to have this if you don't get it this exact way. Absolutely, it's much better. I mean, I don't. Again, I'm not going to be playing, so I can't speak to it one way or another. But at the same time, I'm just... Me, again, as a gamer, personally, I'm just like, you know, WTF kind of thing. But that's just me. Let me go ahead and empty some stuff out real quick. Yeah, exactly. Much better than the Blizzard's idea. So things like aesthetics. So for example, on the forums, we've got like this exclusive avatar for the Founders Pack. Whatever, totally fine. Stuff like that, I don't mind. But if you're going to be locking heroes, specifically heroes, costumes, I personally don't really mind. But heroes locked behind a Founders Pack paywall, no freaking way. No, no, no. PC Founders Pack, I believe, was 200, if I'm not mistaken. The Founders Pack happened before I joined, though, so I am honestly not certain about that. I am honestly not certain if that is precisely correct. But that I believe it was around there. They need to make these things stack more. Just saying. It would help. Is that it? I thought I saw more relics. Ugh, I guess I'm just going crazy. Not surprising. Not surprising. Yes, level 59. What? And we're still going pretty strong. So I mentioned this earlier today. This is going to be a relatively short stream. I might stop in like about 20 minutes or a half hour or so, just because like I'm just really exhausted. I had a really rough day today, so I kind of just want to like veg a little bit. Yeah. So I'm really sorry. I know that you guys are always so excited to see me because I'm such a lovable guy and I'm so awesome. And you guys are just devastated because I am all the amazings. Not quite as good as being all the awesomes, but I'm all the amazings. Oh, I can't do that. Ugh. These shield boxes are nice. But good lord. There's just... I mean, it's weird to complain about having too much stuff, but oh my god, there's too much stuff in these. Okay, there's too much stuff that is not worthwhile. Let me put it that way. That's a better way to put it. I mean, like, flourishes, I couldn't care less about. Lame artifacts, no. I mean, the cores and stuff like that, yes. But cosmic items, no. Medallions, maybe. Artifacts, generally, no. I mean, it's just like WT Fudge. You guys are really bad at cheering me up, though. Normally you just put me down and say how lame I am. Although Jukercha's not here. Skynet won't be happy. What is this? Oh god, I saw that. Oh yes, the giant robot fight. I saw that, Retro. It looks amazing. I really want to see it. But where was I? Right, Sky. Oh, so there's a old role-playing game called Paranoia, and in it you've got, what are they called? I think that the players are referred to as investigators, if I'm not mistaken. Or like troubleshooters. That's what it is. They're troubleshooters, and you have like the main computer that is always referred to in the books and in game as friend computer or friendly computer or something like that. And one of the rules of the society is that happiness is mandatory, and if you're not happy, then you're punished. And that's what, because you said that Skynet's not going to be happy. I'm just like, well, I mean, as far as Skynet's concerned, happiness is probably mandatory. So you're right. I'm going to be in trouble. Skynet will not approve. But yeah, that was a pretty long way for a short distance there. What was I going to do? That's right. I'm going to go buy some more cards. That's what I wanted. One thing that I am okay with is this whole thing where you can get these shield boosts from the cards. It's frustrating that it's inconsistent, but it's better than having to pay for them. Like real money, I should say. Here's hoping that we get good stuff from the for the PC in the coming future. From the looks of it, I'm honestly worried, but we will see. But it's been pretty clear that over the last like few months or so, all of these major changes that we've seen have really been geared at catering to the upcoming, what's it called? The upcoming console crowd, essentially. That's unfortunate. I only got one thing that counted for the shield boost. That's the thing, though, is that it would be nice if we could use the shards to specifically buy certain boosts, but we can't. You can only buy the fortune cards, which is unfortunate. Okay, fortune cards, unfortunate. Thank you! Thank you! I'll be here all night. I'm kidding, I'm not going to be here all night. We already went over this, you guys. Come on now. Keep up with it. Look at all these costumes and team-ups and whatnots. I mean, potentially, Rev. I can certainly see that. It's like... I mean... And that's what I mentioned earlier. It's not Ponzi exactly because they're not on the backs of current players. But at the same time, current players aren't exactly being helped out here. And the question becomes, you know, what's your cost of acquisition for a new person versus not only what's the cost of acquisition, but once you get a new person, how much are they likely to spend? I think the big idea for them is that they want to sell as many Founders Packs as possible. And again, I get that. I understand the need to make money. Like, I totally get it. I truly do. But at the same time, that means that me as a veteran player who didn't do that, who didn't worry about that kind of stuff, I'm sort of left out in the cold. I would imagine that they're basically between a rock and a hard place. I don't envy them the situation. And frankly, I don't know what I would do aside from focusing on the player base that's already here and essentially adding more PC content as, or at least as much as possible. I mean, let's face it, there was potential in PvP. I mean, if they had focused a little bit more on that, then maybe there could have been something there. Could it have gone as far as like esports and stuff like that? No, or at least I highly doubt it. But they could have added some more stuff to it, maybe some unique items that go beyond PvP exclusive things. But again, I understand it's not a moneymaker because people who are here to PvP have no reason to really buy or do anything else because you get no XP, you get no anything. Maybe that would have been a way. You got to incentivize people to do PvP or other modes like that. I mean, my incentive for doing it was just because it's hilarious when I try to PvP. But that doesn't count. It's not a good reason. What do we get? Strength. Strength isn't bad. I'll take that. Ugh. Incidentally, yeah. PvP exclusive skins. That would be great. Yeah, that's a great idea. And that's why I said, like, most of the stuff in this game, the whole point of, like, the stuff that's really completely behind a paywall are all aesthetics. So PvP exclusive skins would be pretty sweet. But again, I highly doubt that's going to happen. That is very true, Euronin, and really, the whole purpose behind me starting up my guide videos and stuff was because, like, as a veteran, as a real veteran action RPG player, I was having some trouble wrapping my head around some of this stuff. So I was like, I got to make some guides and like really try to figure this out and help people out. Now it's even worse because since I started, we've added so much to this game. And it's great, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's like, holy crap, there is so much more going on. So I knew that, like, having the guides would be tremendously helpful, and doing a limited release does make sense, because that means that they're not going to have to worry as much. It's going to help both in terms of their development, as well as in terms of getting the players actually in the game. Because having a steep learning curve is not good for a game. Especially if you're talking about people who are really hardcore console gamers. They don't want to sit around to try to learn something. But yeah, I mean, the PvP, if they had focused on it, it could have been something that they could do. It really could have worked, at least in some way. Just as an example. Yeah, that's always my problem too. I never do it because I always suck. And it's like when you play PvP, you always end up playing against people who PvP. And like that is what they do. So you always feel so inadequate. I remember when I was in WoW for a while, we had it was like we weren't really a guild, but it was more like just a band of misfits type of thing, where we were all just friends, and we kept ourselves as shoot, I didn't mean to open that. So that's the Big Ten box of loot, in case any of you were wondering. But we kept ourselves deliberately at what's it called? At I believe it was level 29, if I'm not mistaken. It was either 19 or 29. I finally got a freaking Latverian Monarch cloak. Oh my god. Finally. It's a miracle. I can't believe I finally got one. I have been waiting literally since I first saw one of those to get it. OMG. OMG. Of course, now I really don't need it because I don't play nearly as much. God dang it. F this mess. This game sucks. Just taunting me. Let me see what else. Rushlock. Yeah, I was wondering more about Mac to Monster. Rushlock not as much, but Rushlock is into Eve now. Like I was talking to there's a guy that I'm working with now, and he actually coded one of the most popular Eve add-ons. He's like a member of the oldest core in the game and all this kind of stuff. Like he's crazy Eve Online player. Absolutely crazy. But yeah. Children's Week achieves? What? Oh, and that reminds me. So, getting back to my story, we all stayed at level 29 in WoW because we were basically creating twinks. That's all it was. We were able to go to, I can't remember the name of the forest. The forest area with the I think it was a shared thing. I don't think it was Horde or Alliance exclusive, but it was the best gun that you could get at level 29. And essentially, we all went, we all got that, we got the best armor, and we were just like an unstoppable PvP force. And the problem is, you always see stuff like that in any game that emphasizes PvP in any way. And it was always really frustrating. Yeah, I mean, the thing that it doesn't really bother me that much, but in Marvel Heroes, like, joining in the super groups really doesn't do anything, and it never did. And that would have been another great thing to emphasize a little bit more, is the social aspect. I mean, for crying out loud, look at how sociable people are trying to be and all this kind of stuff. Like, and look at how much it changed WoW and how people interact in WoW. Like, if they had really gone broke, not, I mean, like go for broke, not actually spend all their money, but really, really try to get the social aspects truly polished and really amazing. Even doing something like having supergroup like shared hubs or something like that, and you can pay G to get furniture, something along those lines. That would have been really cool, and I guarantee you that people would have paid for it. People would have done it. I don't know. But yeah, I haven't seen Rushlock around in quite a while. And I get it's probably for the same reason. Because EVE Online, it's free to play now. I actually, after this guy talked to me about it, I went and I looked up all the info. And, I mean, essentially they have like 2 tiers of an account. Where if you pay, then you get more stuff, essentially. But you can play for free. It just pretty severely limits what you're able to do. I don't know. I might like pop in a little bit just to see what's changed. I would use a new account though. I wouldn't use my old account. But either way. Yeah, I mean the whole thing is rough. The entire social aspect, and I've said it multiple times, like mainly in the context of like when I'm trying to give stuff away, it's really difficult to give stuff away because the friends list doesn't automatically like alphabetize. Essentially, what you end up with are like 2 sectioned off alphabetized areas where you'll have like A through Z and then A through Z again. And who knows where that person you're looking for is. Not to mention that if they have been online recently, then they're automatically at the top of the list. And it's just kind of like WT fudge. WT fudge. I'm going to go and drop some stuff off in my stash real quick before moving on. Yeah, I don't know. I think that they could have focused more on some of the things here. But yeah, so this is what I'm talking about. You see, these are all the people who are online recently, and then it goes A through, X, Y, and then it goes A through X again. I don't know what the reasoning is, and not to mention the fact that my supergroup is now gone. I don't know if their accounts just got deleted or what, but there's no reason that they should have been deleted. I don't know. But the fact is, it's really fun because, boom, Magneto was right. Because I know y'all wonder where that where that particular name goes. And we snagged it. And that was right after I started playing, too. That we managed to get the name. So we got pretty lucky. Frankly, I was surprised that nobody already had it. Go ahead and get rid of this stuff. Psychic armor, we can no, not that. This, we can donate. Psionic armor, sorry, not psychic armor. It's different. Oh, okay. I see what you mean, Ronan. I mean, that's never been a big issue for me. My computer isn't great, but it's also not bad. Like I'm fine running most most modern games at like high, if not max settings. So that I don't have a real big issue with. Um, I would like to get a RAM upgrade because I also do like all my video editing and stuff I do on my computer now, on my PC. I used to do it on my laptop, but then I realized that it just was not good. But yeah, this is yeah, it would be nice to upgrade my RAM. Right now, I think I've only got 8 gigs. I'd like to do at least 32 just for the sake of being awesome and having 32 gigs of RAM. That's what I have at work because I do data analysis all day. So I've got 32 gigs of RAM at work. My work computer is way nicer than my home computer, which is kind of sad. Because normally it's the exact opposite, but for me, just the nature of my work, it's what I do. No! I can't fit the Latverian monarch cloak. What is this? Oh god, kids reacting to AC/DC. These videos always crack me up. Well, just tell, since I can't watch it, Rev, since I can't watch it right now, are they good? Like, are the reactions positive? Or are they like, ugh, what is this? Because I've seen both in like this little series, I guess you could call it. Drop that. Drop it like a bad habit.
You are not the only one hiding a monster, Logan.
Artifact. Ugh, don't care. Watching some fool play a game that you're boycotting? Well, why would you do something weird like that, Rev? That makes no sense. I mean, that basically makes you a masochist.
I'm afraid that's beyond my capabilities.
You got 16? I'm jealous. I'm jealous of your 16 gigs of RAM. Essentially, I just like to have the more RAM, mostly for my video editing. Because I don't run any, like, really intense programmatic stuff or, like, data analysis on my home computer. Again, that's why my work computer is beefier. I mean, that's not deliberate, it's just a fact. I got my home computer far before I got my work computer. What else are you going to do on a Monday evening? That is a very good question, sir. I mean, you could, like, gouge your eyes out with spoons. Yeah, I don't know. And incidentally, like I said, I'll probably go ahead and do, like, maybe, like, 2 more boss waves, I'm thinking. And then I'm gonna call it for this eve, because I'm pretty tired, and I just had like a really rough day at work. It was just really frustrating. So I just need to go and eat. Actually, I need to work out. Ugh. I don't wanna get healthy. I wanna be fat and lazy, but I don't want to be fat and lazy. hugely popular YouTube channel. Wait, what? Oh, he's talking about the AC/DC thing because it's from a CBS affiliate. That's what he's talking about. Rev, Euronin is talking about. Incidentally, Euronin, I actually don't know if you are a man or a woman or an other. I do apologize. Zombies joined the Libertarian Party and they were protesting to get my medical benefit. I wish. Well, it's nice because I actually have pretty decent medical benefits. It's one of relatively few perks about working where I do. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you're a dude or a non-dude or an other. How am I supposed to know with you kids in your safe spaces? Oh, they were protesting to get them taken away. Yeah, not quite. Not exactly what happened. Close, but not exactly. Well, part of the problem, Rev, is that it's especially easy to assume genders when I'm doing something like this. Because, like, let's face it, on YouTube, YouTube tells me that my audience is like 90% male. So, that's not exactly much of a spread in terms of gender. But at the same time, it's never good to make assumptions. Identify as an Apache helicopter. How does that even work? How do you fit into any bathroom? I mean, but does that mean that you're Native American? Is that what you're trying to say, Euronin? That you're a Native American helicopter? In all ways but physical, I'm a sentient planet with a power ring. In all ways but reality, I'm a billionaire. Always assume male on the internet. Well, and that's part of the thing, right? Is that truly is the norm, is that you assume that somebody is a male. Just like you assume that all cats are female and that all dogs are male. That is a generalized assumption that most people make. But remember, kids, science fact of the day, not all calico cats are female. Vast majority are, but some of them are not. And the reason is science. Essentially. I gotta say, I am pretty excited that I'm so close to finishing up my first and probably only Cosmic Hero. Can assume all cats are jerks. That is true. That is very true, yes. All cats are jerks. I'm a quarter Cherokee. But if you're an Apache helicopter, how is it that you're Cherokee? It makes no sense. Wait, Rev got free comics? Why did Rev get free comics? I want free comics. I would never have time to read them, but I want them. Because, you know, they're free, and I'm, you know, not really wealthy by any stretch. Right, like I said, I'll go ahead and do one more boss wave here, and then I'm gonna call it for tonight. It's because I'm sorry, but I'm just really exhausted, and I just need to get the rest of my evening finished at this point. I really do apologize, you guys. What? Twitch Prime had free comics? No fair, they didn't tell me. I've got Twitch Prime. The fudge? Fun fact. New, or not new, but reprint of the Rick and Morty game Total Rick Call was released today, I believe. Yesterday or today. So if you want it, go and buy a copy right now, because you know those bad boys are going to sell out pretty quick. If nothing else, buy it just to leave it in shrink, because then when people are desperate to get it, you can charge like $200 for it, and people will pay. It costs like $15, incidentally. Dang, I should have gotten 2 copies. Ugh. Yeah, Rick and Morty is hilarious. I love it. I have not seen the new season or any part of it, because I was confused, because I looked on the internet and people were saying on April 1st, it's like, oh, it's the new season of Rick and Morty. But then like, apparently it actually was the new season. It really was released, and I don't even know. I should just Google it. Oh, that's right. Mystery Science Theater 3000 is out. You know, I was seriously debating backing that on Kickstarter, but I just didn't have the money at the time. I was just like, I can't do it. I really wanted to, but I just couldn't. What is that? Seriously, what is this thing? It's so confusing. Yeah, I'm excited to watch Mystery Science Theater. I remember watching that as a kid, and I freaking loved it. Oh, not to mention freaking Bill Nye getting his show. Like, what the fudge? You know, it's basically the 90s again up in here. And I say that in the best possible way. Because, like, look what we don't have. We don't have lame freaking boy bands. What do we have? We have Bill Nye and Mystery Science Theater. Like, what more could you want from something that is 90s-esque? Face doesn't meet the requirements for that item. Alright. I'm gonna head out real quick. Nice. So it did actually get released. That's awesome. That is good to know.
Once an Avenger, always an Avenger, Stephen. There is no split loyalty to speak of.
Collecting all the comics nerds on Twitch? What? I know, that's a lot of nerds. Incidentally, hi there. Is that Quayne? Unfortunately, Quayne, you came at like the worst possible time, because I'm right about to stop. Because I'm really tired. I'm sorry, but I just... I'm just exhausted. It was just such a long and rough day today. I got to get going and just finish up my nightly routine and then just collapse on the couch essentially. I'm gonna go ahead and put all this stuff in real quick. Comics Pop is good. Rev has mentioned that before. I'm like way behind on. I mean, I'm way behind on everything. I don't have time to watch any of the shows that I really want to because I'm busy like not rewatching, but watching old shows for the first time that I've been meaning to watch for literally years. And I'm only now just able to get time to watch them. So it's very frustrating. But I am watching them nonetheless. All right. I think that's it as far as cleaning. All right, well, check this out. You guys know what this means. That means that if not this Saturday, then next week, we'll be able to do that. Wil Wheaton. Everybody hates Wil Wheaton. It's fun. We try to have good content. But with that, incidentally, if you guys have any ideas for specific things you want to see on Saturday, let me know. So like this past Saturday, I streamed ukulele, and after, 10 minutes or so of just figuring it out, it ended up working pretty well, and I had fun with it. I played some more over the weekend, and it's actually growing on me more than I expected. I'm really enjoying it. See, that's how most people feel. Nobody likes Wil Wheaton. Wil Wheaton. I think he's an okay guy. I've never met him personally. Wheaton. Or the Wesley Crushers, as in the Crushers of Wesley. I hate that show. I hate it so much. Superman 64. Oh my god. I bet I can find an emulator of Superman 64. And I actually have a USB N64 controller. I truly do. Rev, because you said that, I am generally going to try to do that because that is ridiculous. But either way, you guys take care. Have a great week. If you all think of anything that you'd like to see me stream on Saturday, go ahead and just let me know on Twitter. I might start up a straw poll just to put things out there and see what we've got. But yeah, everybody take care. Have a great time. And thank you all so much for being here and for the great discussion as usual. It was nice having you. And as always, I had a blast. But take care. Bye-bye.